Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking the video out today. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and discuss here today. So before we get into these topics, do me a favor, if you do end up enjoying this video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. Really does help the videos out a lot. And if you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. The first topic we're discussing talks about a new Sony patent that is suggesting old peripherals may become compatible with the PlayStation 5. So reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, they say a Sony patent discovered by the folks over at Game Rant suggests that the company is toying with the idea of making old PlayStation peripherals work with the PS5. The drawings included in the application show peripherals like the iToy and the PlayStation Mouse. One diagram even depicts PSP Go and something called a legacy card reader working with the modern console via emulation. So this was something that I saw making the rounds and a few people talking about, and I don't know that this alone is that big of a deal, but I feel as though it's what this implies that may be the bigger deal here, the thing that people are getting a little bit excited about, and it actually leads us right into our second topic, which is, again, reading from PlayStation Lifestyle. It says here Sony is hiring a classics engineer to develop new emulators. They continue by saying a new job advertisement published by PlayStation Studios has fans hoping for a PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 3 emulator once again. Sony is hiring a software development engineer who will specifically work as a classics engineer, and that is in quotes, to develop new emulators among other tasks. PS3 emulation seems to be a pipe dream, but never say never. Over the years, we've heard numerous reports that Sony's officially looking to bring PS3 emulation to the PS5, with the general consensus being that PS3's architecture is to blame for the company dragging its feet. However, many in the gaming community argue that PS3 emulation on the PS5 is certainly possible, but something Sony probably doesn't want to invest time and resources into. Some have even suggested that the company should hire RPCS3 developers, the team behind the popular unofficial multi-platform open source PS3 emulator. Our software development engineer position works on the tools and technology team at PlayStation Studios to support the newly relaunched classics for PS4 and PS5, reads the job description. Classic games run via emulation of legacy PlayStation platforms. As a classics engineer, you would work closely with a group of other engineers, producers, and QA teams to fix bugs, add new features, and develop new emulators. While it's evident that the aforementioned job description is referring to classics in PS Plus Premium, that hasn't stopped fans from getting their hopes up. So, yeah, this is a pretty significant find because, again, of the implications here. You look at the peripherals that are apparently something that Sony is considering, bringing back these old peripherals and allowing them to be compatible with the new hardware. But more importantly, people are looking at this and thinking, surely Sony is taking the first steps in working on proper PS3 emulation. And here's my take on this. I feel like it's obvious that at some point in time, Sony is going to be forced to do this, because I do think that what this article points out here, how some fans have argued that PS3 emulation is definitely a possibility on PS5 and even future PlayStation hardware. It's just a matter of, does Sony feel like investing the necessary time and resources into making that happen? Well, I feel like that time has come, right? What better time than now for Sony to, at the very least, begin to look into this, because we look at PlayStation Plus Premium and how this is going to be a pretty big deal for Sony in the coming years. It already is a big deal, but a big complaint I've seen when it comes to PlayStation Plus Premium in particular has to do with the classics lineup and how it seems pretty bare bones. And I do agree, it does seem pretty bare bones. The service did just launch, so I think most people are understanding that this is something that's going to continue to grow in the coming months and years. And there's no doubt in my mind that these new hires that Sony's bringing on, these classics engineers, yeah, they're going to be working on more PS1, PS2, and PSP games, but it just seems kind of insane to me to think that PS3 games are just not a part of this conversation. I mean, is it likely that Sony is really just going to sit back and say, we'll just allow PS3 streaming forever, and that's all we're really going to ever do. We have no plans or intention to ever offer proper emulation. I just don't believe it, because I feel like that would be a huge mistake and a huge missed opportunity, especially when you consider what they could end up doing with that with PlayStation Plus Premium. So there you go. At the very least, if you are somebody who is hopeful that Sony's going to continue feeding more classics into PlayStation Plus Premium, hopefully at a more significant rate, well, they are in the process of hiring these engineers, so it's looking pretty good. But we'll have to see if this eventually results in any type of PlayStation 3 emulation on PS5 or future PlayStation hardware. Moving on to the next topic, though, we're talking briefly about PlayStation VR 2 again. We have an interesting rumor here that talks about the wire that is connected to the headset and how it apparently is going to be detachable and it could potentially be replaced. So reading from PlayStation Universe, it says a new rumor from Brian Paul at PSVR Without Parole indicates that the main wire which plugs into your PSVR 2 headset will be detachable and even potentially replaceable for users. Speaking on a recent PSVR Gamecast, Paul first used his own PSVR headset as an example to point out where the main wire is in the headset and the fact that it's not detachable, which has caused some users issues with the wire breaking or tearing. He then points out that in renderings of the PSVR 2 headset, it is possible to see the notch in which the headset would input to, it being a proprietary port from Sony, while the other end is a USB-C. In the first generation of the headset, Paul notes that you can't actually see where the main wire plugs in. This suggests that the wire is detachable and at that point could then potentially be replaced, as Sony would likely sell replacement wires. Paul doesn't offer any more confirmation other than asking viewers to trust him in order to protect his sources, though photos of the new headset do seem to suggest that Paul is exactly right and users could very likely not have to throw out a whole headset when the issue is contained to a faulty wire. And so I thought this was definitely something worth mentioning here, because I do hope he is correct, and I feel like it would make a lot of sense for Sony to do this with the next version of PlayStation VR. I don't know how many people really had issues with the wires of the first generation headset, but you have to imagine that it did happen, and there were people who had to just flat out, kind of repurchase the headset, which is crazy to think considering how expensive it is. I mean, if you have pets, there's a really good chance they're going to try to chew through these wires at some point in time, or anything else could happen. So I hope this is true, and if it is, I think there are people who are big fans of PlayStation VR that are looking forward to this next-gen headset and probably breathing a big sigh of relief if they had issues with this. Moving on to the final topic, though, which talks about some Red Dead Redemption and GTA 4 remasters reportedly being shelved at Rockstar Games in favor of putting all of their focus into GTA 6. So this is reading from Push Square, where they say Rockstar has put development of remasters of Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto 4 on ice, according to a new report from Kotaku. This is so the developer can put all of its efforts into GTA 6. Rumors of such a move had been swirling over the past couple of days because of a tweet from a supposedly reliable Rockstar insider, but Kotaku has offered a much more concrete and reliable statement after talking to its own sources. The two projects have apparently also been shelved due to the poor reception that the GTA trilogy, the definitive edition, received at launch last year, packed full of bugs and glitches at release. It was a pretty terrible experience overall. Because of this extremely negative critical reception, along with poor feedback from the consumers, the company is hoping everyone simply forgets about the remastered collection as it focuses on GTA 6. However, Kotaku's sources state Rockstar hasn't entirely ruled out the possibility of returning to the two remasters at a later stage. The company could restart development, but this won't happen until GTA 6 releases, and who knows when that's going to happen. One leaker said we could be waiting until 2025, but I don't think anybody actually knows. But it says here, according to the website, the possibility of future remasters from Rockstar depend heavily on the sales and reception of the GTA trilogy. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this because it seems that there is some truth to what's being said here, where We have been hearing rumors for a little while now that Rockstar was focusing on a Red Dead Redemption remaster and a GTA 4 remaster, and I guess it kind of made sense that they would want to do this after doing the GTA trilogy, but now apparently we're learning that they're just not going to happen. Instead, they're just focusing on GTA 6, and I I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like on one hand, I do kind of prefer this because I would prefer a game like GTA 6, whatever it ends up being, whenever we see it, can be the best it can absolutely be because they're not really worried about working on other projects. There is that advantage here. The unfortunate reality, though, is that we have no idea when to expect GTA 6, but still, I mean, you think about a game like Red Dead Redemption, the idea that we could have received this game maybe in the new Rockstar engine, right? And it can play just like Red Dead Redemption 2 and just getting that treatment. I feel like a game like Red Dead Redemption actually really does deserve that. Even a game like GTA 4. These are two games that I don't think people would be upset if they were remastered. I think there would be a lot of concern that they're going to mess it up just like they did the GTA trilogy. So because of that, maybe it's best that they don't do that. Like, I'd rather not see these games get remastered and be like disasters like the GTA trilogy was, you know, and just see them focus on GTA 6. But still, I thought this was an interesting report nonetheless. And so that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Be sure to leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. Leave the video a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.